Hey, what's up? This is Jason, and this channel is about teaching you how to build stuff with no and low code. So today I'm going to show you how to build a survey results page using a Pinterest style board and using different colors to show different types of sentiment. So I'm not going to get into how the sentiment analysis is done. Short version, I've got an API connector that sends results of a survey to Chat GPT, and it analyzes the sentiment and sends it back, and I store it. And what I want to do with these results, I use this on a lot of my public sites, is to show feedback from surveys and color code it, whether or not people strongly agree, strongly disagree, or they're neutral. And then I want all the raw data to display in this really nice looking Pinterest style board. So let's get into how to do that. Let's take a quick look at how this is built. First, the data thing is pretty simple. A comment really drives the whole thing. I've got a one input form that people can fill out. If they're logged in, I know who they are. If they're not, I prompt them after they've entered the comment to put their email address in. And I've also got a response date, and I use this because I imported this data from an old system and I wanted to have some historical viewpoint where people could ask the data, what's changed in the last year about the opinion of this topic. And sentiment is something that is being created by OpenAI. So I send the comment and the purpose of the survey to OpenAI using the Chat Completions API and asked it to send back the sentiment. And I also have the user field, and this is because if somebody fills out the survey and they give me their email address and they come back, say 3 months down the road, and they create an account, I will know that this survey was already associated to them if they used the same email address. So instead of just using creator and created date, I specifically have those fields in there to give me the most flexibility. To quickly get into how the sentiment analysis is done, drop me a comment if you want to see a more detailed tutorial on how to do this. I'm just using Chat Completion, and I'm sending it the instructions and the prompt. The instructions is as simple as you are going to analyze survey results from this type of context, and I want you to do this, that, and the other. The prompt is actually sending just what I want them to analyze. So I'm saying, here is the answer from the question. Please send back the sentiment. Now within the instructions, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can set up your Chat GPT to automatically have the instructions in it. So if you set up a custom GPT, you can put the instructions there. I've created this because I use the Chat Completions API throughout the site, and I want to dynamically pass in the instructions and the prompt. So you could do it either way. I've just done this in a generic way, but again, drop a comment if you want to see a tutorial on how to do that. Now, the important thing with this is getting the actual sentiment back, because when I first set this thing up, sometimes it would send back strongly agree as one word for some reason. Sometimes it would send agree with a capital A and a period, and sometimes it would be all lowercase. So I had to give it the instructions to say, if you believe the person strongly agrees, send back the text in quotes, strongly space agree, all in lowercase. This is how I'm controlling the display when it's coloring the tiles. All right, the repeating group is crazy simple, so I don't need to spend a lot of time here. Create a repeating group like you normally would. Don't select any of the parameters here because, well, depending on the display, I just want to show everything. I don't want to restrict it to rows or columns, so that's why that's not set. I've got a minimum height for the row, a minimum width for the column, and if I go to the staging site, you can see that it's formatted nicely in columns, but it's not expanding these boxes. That's what the masonry grid checkbox is for. So this is crazy easy. Just simply select display items as a masonry grid, hit reload, and boom, it's all formatted perfectly. So yeah, great feedback, dude. All right, so now let's get into the colors, and that's even more simple. So the way I set this up is neutral. I want it to be a light gray. So the style I'm using is a rounded light gray style. And so that's what's going to show by default. And then it's being overridden by a condition. And again, this is crazy easy. So when the survey's sentiment contains agree, because it might be agree, it might be strongly agree, make it green. If I really wanted to, I could say, when the sentiment is, and then specifically put strongly agree or agree, and then I could have 2 different shades of green. I didn't really want to do that. And then the same for disagree. If the sentiment contains disagree, show it in red. Now, if I wanted to do these a little bit differently, I could define another condition, and I could say if the sentiment is strongly disagree, for example, then I could change the background color to a different one. Because I'm using 5 different sentiments, I could color each of the 5 differently. I didn't want to do that for this one because I think, agree or disagree or neutral is good enough for the intention of this survey. But if you want to, you can just add as many conditions as you want. And then now see, it's going to do strongly disagree and that really awesome red, while disagree is still in the lighter red. And that's it, pretty simple. So again, if you want to see a quick tutorial on how to create a reusable chat completions thing, because it's pretty handy if you do a lot of surveys and you just want simple analysis back, drop a comment and I'll do one of those. Remember to hit like and subscribe to get notified when new tutorials come out. Thanks for checking it out.